The plane went down this morning on its way from Paris to Cairo with 66 people on board. It's a scary moment for one mother here in Texoma after she says she was followed while shopping at a local Walmart. A 16-year-old died in a Ford County wreck. He was one of 3 occupants thrown from the vehicle not wearing their seatbelts. DPS troopers say a woman from Chico lost control of a stolen vehicle and crashed the car into a ditch, causing it to roll several times. Yeah, and we heard from Billy Dean a little bit earlier in the show. He was talking about Horton's Classic Car Museum. He knows so much about cars. I was so impressed when I went there. Cancer Society is putting on within the next month or so the Hope Sunday, the Survivor's Dinner, and Relay for Life. If you can't take advantage of all 3, take advantage of one of these.
Police rescued Haley Hogue by pulling her out of this basement window. They had to break through a layer of glass, which some of it is still sitting along the outside of the house here. Something you don't see every day. A usually heavily traveled Memorial Bridge, now deserted tonight.
John, the rain we saw earlier this morning has moved out of the area. Now it's just cloudy out there.
Yeah. Family have started laying these flowers just outside the gas station in remembrance of Arnett, who employees say worked the overnight shift here at Abel's for more than 6 years.
This is News Channel 6 Saturday morning.
Today is Election Day for municipal contests across Texoma. Good Saturday morning. I'm Kaylee Pfeiferling. Polls are already open. They opened up at 7 o'clock this morning. They'll be open up until 7 o'clock tonight. Some of the big issues on the ballot include mayoral elections for Archer City, Chillicothe, Kroll, Graham, and Iowa Park, just to name a few. Over in Electra today, residents will get their say on who should sit on the City Commissioners Board. This comes after a recall was approved by the city clerk back in January. The recall election will be for Mayor Pam Ward, Place 1 Commissioner Kevin Bird, and Place 2 Commissioner Ricky Kelly. The recall effort was said to be in response to the firing of Electra Police Chief Michael Hopkins. For the first time in 38 years, the citizens of Nocona will be voting on a school bond election today. The $15.1 million bond is for a new high school and will allow all students to be moved onto the main campus buildings. Back in February, we asked Nocona ISD President Len Dingler what he thought about the bond. Here's what he had to say.
We fall short in a lot of areas with the state education code, and this will allow us to have our children with the best that we can afford for their education.
If the bond passes, it'll be issued around July or August. And the earliest construction on the high school could start late next fall. News Channel 6 will be your election headquarters today, so tune in for the results tonight or online at newschannel6now.com. If you are planning on getting out to vote today, the weather isn't going to get in your way. For the latest on how your Saturday is shaping up, let's check in with Skywarn 6 meteorologist James Parrish. Hey James, good morning.
Good morning, Kaylee, and good morning, Texoma. If you are going to be voting...
Thanks, James. A scary moment for one mother here in Texoma after she says she was followed while shopping at a local Walmart. Her Facebook post is now bringing awareness to hundreds of Texoma parents about the risk of human trafficking. News Channel 6 Danielle Maligari sat down with that mother yesterday. Here's her story.
A regular trip.
Sergeant McClure says if you do feel unsafe or witness suspicious activity, go where other people are, alert store security, or call 911. After being closed for the winter months, the Wichita Falls Farmers Market is back open. Today is the opening day and kicks off the 2016 season. Vendors are already downtown this morning at 8th and Ohio selling their produce. The Farmers Market opened up at 7:30 this morning. It'll be open until 1 o'clock this afternoon. If you can't make it out there today, the market season runs every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday through October. Put on your walking shoes and get ready for the 16th annual Walk for Life. Registration and free continental breakfast begins at 9 o'clock this morning in Lucy Park. In Vernon, the walk will be held at the Calvary Baptist Family Life Center, and the goal of today's Walk for Life is to raise funds for the ministry of the Pregnancy Help Center. Now, for those who don't know, the Pregnancy Help Center of Wichita Falls and Vernon is a nonprofit agency providing free pregnancy tests, sonograms, and other services for women, their children, and expectant fathers. Along with those walking for a cause, you may also notice hundreds of bikers, skateboarders, and rollerbladers along Wichita Falls Circle Trail today. The 14-mile tour starts at 10 o'clock this morning and runs until about 2 o'clock this afternoon. The goal is to help people and families get out and about and see the trails Wichita Falls has to offer. One of the longest continuous running events in the state of Texas happens near Vernon, and it's going on today. We're talking about the annual May Picnic. This is the 133rd year for the event. It dates back to the late 1800s. Doan's Crossing was the first town in Wilbarger County. Doane's was a trading post along the Western Trail. That's where cattle and horses were driven from Texas across what was then Indian Territory to market in Kansas and farther north. And in 1884, the picnic started.
It started when my grandfather, his children, and wife, and some neighborhood friends, or some friends in the area, decided to go up to a place called Watts Grove. It's on the river, and have a picnic. And then they did it the next year and the next year, and it just kept growing and growing and growing. And it was a May Day celebration, but that's the way it started.
The picnic starts in about an hour at 9 o'clock this morning. It's located about 12 miles north of Vernon on Farm to Market Road 2916. You'll find it several miles off U.S. Highway 283. Up next, Donald Trump stirs protesters and the faithful by the thousands in Eugene, Oregon last night. More on what he had to say about jobs and Hillary Clinton. Turning to the campaign trail this morning, both supporters and protesters were on hand last night in Oregon to welcome Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump. He spoke for more than an hour on everything from jobs to, of course, Hillary Clinton. Cole Miller has more.
Eugene.
That was Cole Miller reporting. Trump also has appearances later this morning in Spokane and another one in Linden, Washington. Former Texas Governor Rick Perry's official portrait is now hanging at the state capitol in Austin. The portrait was unveiled in the state capitol rotunda yesterday. Perry left office in January of last year after serving over 14 years as Texas governor. He says he's proud of what he's accomplished.
We made the most powerful economic state in the nation. A state that if it was its own country, and I remind people on a regular basis that we were once, we would be the 12th largest economy in the world. What you did mattered.
Perry took office in December 2000 after George W. Bush resigned following his victory in the presidential election. Perry also sought the Republican presidential nomination twice, but dropped out both times. He made headlines this week by saying he would back presumptive GOP nominee Donald Trump. The wildfires raging out of control in Alberta, Canada are expected to double in size in the next 24 hours. An unnerving thought for residents in that area. This is new video taken from inside a home in Fort McMurray. The homeowners watched their home burn to the ground on a home security camera. And as you can see, it shows a couple's living room being overtaken as smoke and flames engulf the house. The fire now covers an area larger than New York City, and more than 80,000 people have fled their homes. Still to come on News Channel 6 Saturday morning, a recommendation for people with chronic sleeping problems. And new data on weight loss surgery benefits for teenage boys. Health news is next. Welcome back. In health news this morning, weight loss surgery could have another benefit for obese teenage boys. Researchers in Ohio found the surgery can boost the level of HDL, so-called good cholesterol. Plans are underway to study the impact on girls. The American College of Physicians advises adults with chronic insomnia to get cognitive behavioral therapy as a first step in treatment. And a new study finds the health benefits of walking and bicycling outweigh the negative health effects of air pollution. Researchers in Cambridge found only in the most extremely polluted cities in the world could the risks outweigh the benefits, and that's only if a person spends at least 5 hours a week exercising outdoors. This Mother's Day is extra special for a first-time mom in New York. She's fighting a major health crisis while welcoming in her new daughter to the world. Hannah Daniels has more. And it's time right now for another check of your Saturday forecast with Skywarn 6 meteorologist James Parrish. Good morning, James.
Good morning, Kaylee, and the weather.
All right, thanks, James. And don't forget about tonight's Powerball jackpot. It is now at a staggering $415 million. It is the 9th largest potential payout in U.S. history. It increased again after no winnings were sold for Wednesday's Powerball. There have been 18 drawings in a row with no winner. The next drawing is tonight, so go get your tickets. And superhero fans rejoice. It is free comic book day today. Retailers all over the country observe the holiday the first Saturday in May. Now, this all started in 2001 when a comic book retailer in California saw the success of comic-based movies and decided to expose moviegoers to the stories and illustrations that inspired those movies. The first free comic book day was held on the opening weekend of Spider-Man back in 2002. We'll be right back after this. Latest news anytime, you can go to newschannel6now.com. Have a great Saturday.